Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm watching The Witcher, Season 2, Episode 3.
What is lost? It was good. They said it like 100 times in the show, in the episode.
Okay.
It's like, what is lost cannot be found or like can be recovered or whatever. They said it a bunch of times. In regards to like her magic and, you know, all kinds of stuff. The war in general.
So, well, we get training from Ciri.
Thank God. She's pretty good.
Well, I am enjoying this, but there are still things that I'm kind of like, okay, I'm going to make fun of this. Because I was like, it felt like she trained for a day. And then Lambert, what?
I can't with him. I retract my calling him hot because now I just don't like him. Because he's just like a mean, rude dude.
I understand that they gave us that flashback with Eskel and Geralt, but I still don't feel Eskel was some great loss. I'm sort of like, you introduced us to him
negatively,
being surly and rude. And it's like I said, I mean, I understand that the flashback happened, but I was sort of like, get over it.
And being a dick about the child surprise. And like, there was
which we already like, so it's like,
which we already like, and there was also seeming to be a lot of talk about how Geralt has been like missing in action for a while. Like he hasn't been home in too long or something.
I think that but
it's also like he's been busy.
Well, no, I think he kind of abandoned. Like
I don't know that abandoned is the right word. Well, he's been killing monsters. That's his whole job.
Lambert just has this thing where he's just like. He's like, well, there, princess.
Yeah.
He's like,
it's a lot of,
why don't you go back to your tower? And I'm like, yeah, why don't she? Like,
well, because it's gone. Like,
no, I know that. I guess my point is he keeps like just accurately describing the circumstances as if it's somehow like
well, and also the like
a dig or a slur,
the taunting of her, and then the taking her to this like intense gauntlet after like training. You're right. Like
she trains for a day, and then she does this obstacle course for a day.
Maybe like a week or two. I will allow like a week or two, but it's like also just out of nowhere. He's like, well, you're not really anything until you can pass this gauntlet, brah. And it's like, what?
It's just very like, oh. Like what was this episode reminded me of American Crime Story Impeachment, where it's like you want to make her cry, like what, like this is some accomplishment, like oh my god. But and again, well, do they know she's magic? I don't remember. Everyone's kind of magic sometimes, so it's hard.
Geralt knows she's magic, but I don't think the others know she's magic.
But
I don't think the other Witchers know.
I'm just saying she could be an asset. Like, why do you not? Anyways,
the one of them, Cohen. I think he's being okay to her, but he still allowed that whole thing to happen. Like bringing her out to the gauntlet.
Her and Geralt had like a whole lesson about like how you have to be like fully prepared. You can't just be like halfway prepared or whatever. And they went out into the forest and they found the Flacca, which was like
the Leshy.
The Leshy. What's the Flacca? Oh, the Flacca is the fire girl.
Yeah.
Strike that. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
They found the Leshy, and it was quite the sight.
It was pretty cool, if I'm being honest.
And very like when I criticize Eskel, I was like, he was just kind of like woo, like all around. It kind of just
did that.
do that. But then what in holy hell?
I don't know.
What in God's green earth?
I didn't like it. It felt very like the scariest monster from Love and Monsters.
But worse?
But worse. I was not a fan because it also had sort of like a humanish, goatish face.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like Pan's Labyrinth mixed with the centipede.
It's not it.
And it had like arms coming out of its chest.
But they were all grabbing itself like this.
Well, so in spite of our like, kudos to production because I wasn't like, this again.
This monster again. Even the Leshy was like not something you see every day.
But yeah, it
fucking ripped the Leshy in half immediately.
Which it was making me ask questions that I don't feel like we're gonna get answers to because I was like, the implication was like this like centipede thing was like waiting, like it was like lying in wait, or
that's I think partially what Ciri's having visions, because she had a vision that did that exact thing. It didn't get to the monster, but it was like she was in the forest and then something grabbed her and dragged her away. And so when Geralt was like, follow the feeling, that you get when you have these visions, and it took
I
them
started
out
to
there.
nod off a little bit. I was kind of like, and that's why I stood up, because I was like, I need to get moving.
So that's why they went out there and why they found it and everything.
I remember hearing that. I think I was like, kind of like, ooh. And furthermore, was this like a one-off, or are these things just prowling the forests?
Well, so far, most of the monsters have been
Kinda
like a
one-offs.
one and done. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I didn't care for it.
It was disgusting.
She evaded it. Geralt killed it. Lesson learned.
Well, she was very like, I don't want to be taking all of the time to do this. You're like only letting me fight with a wooden sword. You're not actually training me. And so I think that's part of the reason why she like went with Lambert and Cohen to go like to the gauntlet.
Okay. So then we go back to either Aretuza or the Aretuza.
The school.
The school.
The mage school.
Yeah. So we go back to the mage school, and Stragaborn was there, just in rare form. Classic Stragobor.
Also, he's just like pushing propaganda about. That's the thing.
He uttered the phrase. So I was with him for a second, and he uttered the phrase, "We must protect our institutions." And I was like, nope.
Absolutely not. He's doing the classic thing where I didn't love it in the first place that the male mages and the female mages were separated in the first, like in season 1. And
who was Yennefer's friend?
Istrid. They had like an affair before she got hot, and he has since like been like a betrayal person. Like the whole everything he does is a betrayal of someone. And so they like meet up sort of late in season 1. Again, while he's like doing the geology thing that the historical geology thing that he talked about, but it's like a weird thing, and then he also just like leaves her in the lurch kind of again. I don't like him, and they like keep insisting that he needs to be a thing, and I don't think he does. I'm very like, are we sure that this is what we need?
He's not the Jacob to Geralt's Edward.
No, definitely not. And so yeah, I'm just like not a fan. He also is saying he's lying to the men's department in the mages, and
so they're in the same building. Okay,
yeah, because they found each other like in catacombs when they were both in training.
So much training. Oh my God. Well, again, if there's one thing that male fans of fantasy shows need, it is training
for the women specifically.
I guess the North is not Sintra, because
Sintra is in the North.
Okay,
yeah,
but they were going to cut off Chair's head. Kaer. Kaer. They were going to cut off.
I was like, Christina Hendricks is not in this show.
They were going to cut off Kaer's head and send it to Sintra as like a show of how strong the North is. And that's when I was like, okay, I need to recalibrate.
Well, because he's from Nilfgaard, which is the South, and he is an enemy of Sintra. So they can be like, we are still powerful.
Okay. Well, then I need to
recalibrate.
Yeah. Okay. Well, because he was the one that was kidnapping Ciri. I was right.
He was kidnapping Ciri, and he was trying to kill all the mages. And Fringilla is the one who was like with him because she was from Nilfgaard, or she went to Nilfgaard, and she's sort of bad now.
So we have. So who exactly is Stragobor? I remember him from season 1.
He is basically Tisea for the male mages.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So he's their headmaster.
Sucks, and he like is just propaganda.
She kind of threw him down. It felt like she was like, not that she outranked him, but I mean, she be better.
He also was committing treason by digging into Yennefer's brain.
So regardless, he thinks Yennefer is a spy.
Yeah.
Because she was with 2 separate enemies for too long.
She was gone for like a month after the battle. I mean, not through her own choice.
Well, she was like, you don't know what a prisoner of war is.
Yeah.
It was kind of, I don't know. It was a lot. And so, yeah, he was like interrogating her, and Tisea chucked him
across the room. It was kind of amazing.
And we did get Sabrina back.
Yeah, I thought she had died, but she was just maybe out of commission after she fell from the tower.
So Sabrina and Triss and another girl.
I didn't recognize her.
I didn't remember her.
Yeah. She seemed fine, though.
But they got in the pool. I kind of remember the pool from season 1.
Yeah.
And they swam around and like giggled. And then they're wounded. Triss apparently is like covered in burns.
Yeah.
And she was sent somewhere.
Yes, she because Yennefer asked about her, and Sabrina said she was summoned this morning to somewhere.
Okay.
So
it felt
yeah,
fake. It felt like a lie. And so they were going to make Yennefer cut off Kair's head.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it checks, but I'm also like, is that like, I don't know that, I mean, they're magic, but I'm like, I don't know that not to be a Lambert here, but I'm like, we're gonna make this tiny woman execute. Like,
I mean, I agree. It's a little weird, and also it's like that's so that she can like prove that she's not a spy. And I'm like, I mean, she could just be that deep.
Yeah.
Like, there's no proof here. And also, Tissaia knows that her magic is gone, and so I think that's part of why she did what she did, which is let Cahir go and then run away herself, because I think she's going to go try to find a way to get her magic back.
That was very funny.
Yeah.
Because they had this like whole ceremony where they were like unveiling their new obelisk, and it was like,
and all the kings are there.
And then basically Yennefer just like hacks off his handcuffs. And then she kind of just goes, ooh, like, she like cut down the legs from two like pyres. And then everybody was sort of like, oh.
But the kings were just sitting there as though nothing were amiss.
And then she like ran outside through the side door and then had a long conversation with Kair.
It was like a one-sentence conversation.
They were not in a hurry for what had just happened, and then they rode off.
Well, so I also think that's why she knocked down the pyres, was to like make kind of a barrier, so it would be harder for them to be followed. But
flawlessly
executed. It's not flawless.
It was a flawlessly executed plan. There was not a.
It was executed. Well, it worked. No one chasing them.
I'm laughing, but I'm not joking. She had that unlock. It was the Flocka, that was like the fire girl that Stragobor was like going on and on about.
That was part of his propaganda, because she was a quarter elf and she just laid waste to the entire land, and Yennefer is a quarter elf and she has fire magic. What could happen?
It was very Frollo from The Hunchback of Notre Dame about that temptress.
Yeah.
And, like,
and that was the only moment where Istred was like a little bit useful, where he was like, there's like literally no correlation between the two women, and Yennefer would never. And I think Yennefer might, but I don't think she's going to.
Oh, no, we did have a C plot. It was in Zentrea, I think is what
That's Sintra. It's the old Elvish word for Sintra. We covered that in the last episode.
I'm trying so hard.
Well, Will is right. It's so much easier for me to keep things straight now that we're in one linear narrative. So I'm having like a way better time.
So they were in Sintra?
Yes.
So they made it to the north?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the elves are being given refuge in Sintra, and now Fringilla is with them and like
and made a deal with Francesca.
Yeah.
To do something. What are they doing?
Finding them a home. I don't care. I don't like the elf thing. I think it's real stupid so far. So I'm not really. My eyes kind of glaze over. I really don't know. And Francesca is pregnant. She needs to like start a new land for their new family.
But she was pregnant in the previous episode.
Yeah, but I guess it's like never taken this far. Like
right.
Yeah.
They did say that.
Yeah.
Also, man, I'm trying so hard. I need like earplugs to keep the stuff from falling out of my head. Because they also the witch, that like maiden mother crone Baba Yaga thing is still sort of, she's been real shisty, and I don't trust it.
No, she's speaking to Yennefer, but I think she's also speaking to Fringilla and Francesca, probably. It's
so clear that she's bad that I'm like, then maybe she's not?
Yeah.
Like, maybe this is a misdirect? Like, I don't know.
I'm not sure.
We'll see. We have several episodes left. Yeah. So
I mean, I'm having a good time, and I think it's like having the linear narrative is really helping me, and I can only hope that Yennefer is on her way to find Geralt now, because I need for them to be in a room again together. And where is Jaskier? I miss Jaskier.
Ciri needs more training.
Ciri's fine. If anything, Yennefer can help her with her magic training. I just like I need those. I need those two elements.
Jaskier is going to be here because he's in a thumbnail of one of the episodes, but I think it's like a one and done, because isn't he like long dead?
I don't know.
I clearly didn't have a grip on
the timeline
because I thought the wedding was like 70 years ago and it was at most like 15. So
yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll be back.